It is God who decides to show mercy. Martin Luther said, "The most damnable and pernicious heresy that has ever plagued the mind of man was the idea that somehow he could make himself good enough to deserve to live with an all-holy God. Indeed, that God's mercy is beyond comprehension, and there is no way for us to explain how great the mercy to God to us." Romans chapter 9 verse 16 says, "So it is God who decides to show mercy. We can neither choose it nor work for it." In this verse tell us Paul is describing his sorrow for the people of Israel in their rejection to Christ. After describing all the privileges God has given to the Jewish people as a nation, Paul insists that God will keep those promises. However, not every person born to Israel belongs to Israel. God reserves the right to show mercy to some and not others. As Paul demonstrates from scriptures, God is like potter who creates some vessel for the destruction and others for glory. God has called out his people from both Gentiles and Jews to faith in Christ. God's mercy is on the display in the cross. He demonstrates his love and mercy towards us in while we were still sinners, and Christ died for us. God's mercy does not depend our efforts of willing and running. As per the law, in the manner of the unbelieving Jews, but upon God who has mercy, who saves by faith, as with the believing Gentiles. People of God, we need to understand that God shows mercy according to his own will and according to his own character. It is not in response to man's will and works, yet this does not contradict his man's responsibility. God shows mercy, not our obligation or any indebtedness to humanity. For God's mercy is an attribute of God's character and is directed by God's perfect will. Our response as believers is to recognize that we must humbly accept that we are all sinners and imperfect, and everything that we have is come from Him, and we should be thankful to God. Accept wholeheartedly is the best way of showing our gratefulness for everything we've received from God. When we recognize and accept His grace, we will begin to grow in His love. Then we can spread to the world the grace and mercy that He generously bestowed upon us.